Da-da-da. Da-da-da. 1, 2. 1, 2. Check, check. 1, 2. Check, check. 1, 2. Welcome. 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 It is Thursday. We are live with the Black Cyclist. Thank you for joining. Much appreciated. Another slightly delayed start, but you know, I'm here. The day has finished. I've walked upstairs to the Wattage Cottage. I'm on the old Ridley bike, the Doretto X Turbo Trainer. We can talk about my bike and Turbo Trainer when the stream gets started. If you're here for the first time, I'm Ken Dizzle, the Black Cyclist, slightly out of breath. I cycle for fun, streaming my adventures on the bike and just showcasing my fitness journey, tips and chats and everything fitness related with a happy, positive vibe. That's what we do here. Today, I'm going to be doing some riding around Zwift, but I'm also going to be talking about e-mountain bikes because, well, my passion started with e-mountain bikes. Well, not e-mountain bikes, with mountain bikes. Well, BMX to start with, but I was an avid mountain biker before the lockdown that kept us all in, which put me onto this indoor cycling and the Turbo Trainer. But it's time to upgrade, so I'm looking at some e-mountain bikes, and I appreciate any comments, suggestions, tips that you might have. While I'm here, I'll also give you a little bit of a rundown about what we see on the Zwift screen. So if you're new to Zwift, you've not used it before, feel free to ask any questions. I'll tell you about what's going on the screen. I'm going to pick a route. In fact, rather than pick a route, I think I'm going to jump onto the pace partners again, because at least that way then I don't have to focus about keeping up. Doesn't matter about, you know, being dropped by a group ride, but I will talk a little bit as we get in about how you can select different types of rides, different routes to do. And that's it. So welcome to everyone joining on YouTube. And also a big shout out to everyone joining over on Twitch. We are dual streaming because you know what? We need to spread as much BBC around as possible. Everyone needs to experience a bit of BBC. Am I right? Obviously, I'm talking the Black Cyclists. Strictly PG, safe here. Right. Okay, so I want to start pedaling then, shall I? Shall I start pedaling? We're here to get fit. Well, I am anyway. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everyone who's subscribed. My subscriber list is growing nicely, so I appreciate that. My controller seems to be stuck. I have to go old school. There we go. Right, so this one's called Sugar Cookie. So the RoboPacers are when you want to just ride with other Zwifters. There's a predetermined route. There's a robot cyclist who will just pedal at a set pace. This RoboCyclist is going at a set pace of about 1.8 watts per kilogram. Now you'll see that I'm not pedaling as it gets started. The RoboPacer is called Miguel. You get 10 seconds to start pedaling, and if you haven't started pedaling, you get an extra 50 seconds where it will ride with the speed of the group, sticking with the main RoboPacer. So it gives you time to get sorted, you know. Have you got your towel? It's Zwift Essential. Have you got your water, your hydration? If you've got like a Garmin or a, you know, like a head unit, is that turned on, you know? Have you got your snacks? Have you got everything you need? Have you got your headphones? Is your fan here? I'm quite fortunate. I have little button, little smart button. I can press it once for my front fan. Front fan fits on. Press it once again, it turns off, and I've got a little side fan. Press it twice, that turns on. I can also use voice commands as well. So now the fan's on, I need to start pedaling or I'm gonna get dropped. Here we go. Feel free to pop any question in the chat. Shout out to anyone who is brave enough to say, hey, how you doing? And we're all about celebrating our gains and positivity here So if you feel you've achieved something, maybe you got a new bike, you've hit a new PR, you've achieved a local KOM. Hey, it could be your birthday, it could just be anything really, anything to shout about. Gains, maybe you've like hit a target on your scales, your diet's going well. Yeah, positive, spread the love. I'm riding my BMX. Should we talk a little bit about Zwift, what this is? Get into it, shall we? Yeah. So here I am. My avatar is in the middle of the screen, just in front. I'm wearing my my snazzy, fancy lederhosen. So Zwift is an online cycling app. You have a bike, you attach that bike to a turbo trainer. You then use the Zwift app, and that allows you to cycle in virtual worlds. Every other cyclist you can see on your screen, there's another cyclist just like me. And we ride in perfect conditions. Just to the side of me here, you can see like a little log that will show you all of the cyclists that we are riding with. You can see their country, how long they've been cycling for, their power. We're all here. I'm getting dropped. So the effort that you put out on your bike is translated onto the screen, courtesy of your turbo trainer. So it feels just like riding outside. Right now the gradient is 3%, so the turbo trainer adjusts, making it feel like 3%. I need more fan. Ooh, it does get hot. And you can literally attach pretty much any bike to a turbo trainer. All that's doing is just translating your watts onto the screen. And instead of a boring ride, or a wet ride, or only being able to ride when conditions are perfect, it's always perfect in Watopia. Yeah. Whew. So for me, I like to finish my working day, head upstairs, jump on the turbo trainer. Obviously I'm streaming as well, and I don't need to worry about going to a certain location or putting the bike in the car just to get to scenic routes. Although I am surrounded by scenes not too dissimilar to what we can see on the screen. I think I'll probably chose a pace that's a little bit too fast for my leisurely warm-up. So whew, you can see on the top left of the screen you've got some numbers, and that's showing all my vital stats. 113, that's my watts, that's the power that I'm putting out. Below that, RPM, that's the cadence of my pedals going round. I'm wearing a heart rate monitor, so that's also showing my heart rate. 139. I need to catch up. Total calories burned. You can also see my watts per kilogram. That's like showing you my relative effort. It's like a power to weight calculation. And you can use that if you want to work out if a group you're thinking of joining or a race you want to join, if it's the right pace for you. So I think I'm not going to bother chasing this group. I'm just going to enjoy a nice ride. And then shall we talk about e-mountain bikes? I think that's it. If you've tuned in to help me decide about an e-mountain bike, this stream does work when it's interactive. How you doing, Johnson? Thank you. So was that a go on for the effort, or go on because I said I want to get an e-mountain bike? Right, so give me a moment. Let me just see what's happening over on Twitch. Don't seem to be able to see my chat screen. So, oh. Not sure what happened then. I think we might have a Twitch error, but it's fine. The YouTube crew are here to talk e-mountain bikes. Let's talk e-mountain bikes. So I'm just gonna. This works. Let's jump over to. Right, so we're in the. Obviously, we're really still in the Wattage Cottage, but we dropped into the chat room. Screen to the left. So, I don't know if anyone in the chat, thank you for joining by the way, has any expertise or knowledge, experience of e-mountain bikes. Well, I've been looking at a few. One that's caught my eye specifically is Canyon. I think, yes, I was influenced by the Canyon bike in Zwift, but I think maybe it's time to get myself a Canyon. And if I do, how you doing, Nathan? How do? So, we're talking e-mountain bikes. I think it's time for me to get myself another new bike. Or another new bike. So I've been looking at this one here. This is the I can't remember what it's called now. So I think this is the so it's not a full e-mountain bike. So it's like a power assist. I think it's called the Strive On. Let me double check. Yes, this is so this one's called the Neuron Aluminium 7. So the Neuron AL7. How you doing, Nathan? Thanks for joining. So this one's called the Neuron like A7. And it's just under £3,000. I think it's about £2,500 at the moment. It's on special offer, discounted over on Canyon. So that's the one that I'm looking at. There's also another one called the Strive, which is like a more powerful motor. So the Strive is this one here, carbon fiber. So there's two of them. There's the I should have had a crib sheet here so I could easily say. Okay, so one of them's called the Strive On CFR. That's the first one on the left, and the other one is called the Strive On the Underdog. Now they're pretty much identical spec from what I can tell, but the good thing about them is that they're both substantially reduced. I mean, it's like 24% off that one. There's about another 30% off the other one. So, you know, and it's like, who wants to pay full price for anything? I know I don't. So the Strive On, so it's carbon, so it's full carbon in black. It looks really nice. I mean, I think my last 4 bikes are black. So anyway, so it was £5,149. So it's got a saving of over £1,220. So it's got the Bosch Performance Line CX motor, Fox 38 rhythm grip. It's 24% off. That's like a quarter of the price. Now, from what I can tell, I think the Bosch motor is the one to go. No, I don't know. I think it's something to do with torque. I'm not really an expert. Part of me is going to buy a bike partly based on spec, but also based on how it looks. I'm not going to lie. Nuggle. Anyway, so that's the Underdog. But the other one, the Strive ON CFR, that was a little bit more. But this one's got like 33% off. So it should have been 6,000. Let's just call it £6,500. I mean, I wouldn't pay that much for a mountain bike. That's almost as much. That's more than my last motorbike cost. Anyway, so this is the other one. This is green. So that's the Strive ON CFR. So it's the Bosch Performance line CX. It's a Fox 38 Performance Elite Grip 2. And I actually don't mind that colour. Actually, it looks pretty cool, like a pale forest green. Don't know. Thoughts? Do you think any of those is a good call? Well, of course, you know, I don't want to just look at one type. So I've also looked at Giant. Should I get the Giant ones up? Let's close this. So I've also looked at this one here. So this is the Trance Elite 3. So it's a Trance X Advanced Elite 3. And this, again, there's like over £2,200 discounted off this bike. Obviously, I'm looking at dual suspension rather than hardtail. I think my first proper mountain bike was dual suspension, and I do have some hardtails, but I kind of want to be able to take it proper off-road, you know, I'm not saying I'm doing backflips and somersaults and stuff like that, but I'm still, you know, I want to be doing drop-offs and some technical stuff. So I think the dual suspension to me is kind of like a deal breaker, and there's not that much difference in price between non-dual suspension and suspension. I know it's another part to service, but I've serviced a rear shock, and it's not hard. As long as you've got the right tools and you can watch a YouTube video, you can do a service thing. Maybe I'll do one on a stream. I'll service my old Mondraker rear suspension. So anyway, so this one here, I mean, obviously I'm not paying that much money up front. I'm going to get it on the cycle to work scheme. So this will just come out of my wages every month for a year. So I'll make a bit of tax saving on that as well. So this one here, I mean, I haven't really gone to the spec. I've just done sort of like screenshots. I was hoping I'd get some input or some comments from anyone in chat. But so this one here anyway, and I like the discount more than I like the bike. I don't know about an orange bike. I had a yellow mountain bike once. I don't know how I feel about a bright orange bike. Then again, if I had a Zwift bike, it would probably be orange, wouldn't it? Anyway, so that's the Trance X Advance. And then there's also this one here, which is, it's the Elite 2. So the first one was the Elite 3 in orange, and this blue one is the Elite 2. And again, look, it's $6,500 full price. This is like over $2,500 off, so 3,900. I probably don't want to spend that much on a mountain bike. I'm like, it's not that far off a motorbike. I ride motorbikes, and this is just crazy. But you can't take a motorbike all over the Scottish Highlands, can you really? And down, like, yeah. Anyway, so these are what I'm looking at, and I'm not sure which out of all of these bikes is one that I'm going to actually go for. Maybe the Canyon, maybe the Giants, who knows. If anyone has any suggestions, recommendations, sort of like preferences, especially between these two. I think these two are pretty evenly matched, I think. So the Strive ON CFR. This one's currently actually this is like over £4 grand. I mean, they look nice. I kind of like the black one. No, the Underdog. So maybe that'll be the one that I get. Anyway, I'll leave it there. If anyone's watching on the replay, I'm probably going to chop this video up, go to some of the highlights. Next video, I will also add some of the spec, so we can do a better sort of like comparison. And you never know, I might even head over. There's a Specialized store over at the Fort in Birmingham, so I might head over to the Specialized store, see if I can get it, at least, you know, see some, kick the tyres, sit on it, maybe check my sizing. I've heard you have to go a size down rather than your normal size. So if I'd normally have a large, I think I need to have a medium if I went for that. But yeah, that's what I'll see. Don't know. I don't know. I'm lost for words. I was really hoping I'd get some suggestions, or at least someone who has an e-mountain bike. And don't get me wrong, I will never ever stop riding manual bikes. There's something about that leg burn, pushing yourself up a hill, 22% gradient, you know, and I'm feeling the benefit. You know, as that sweat leaves your body, you know that's like gold, liquid gold coming out of your pool from the effort that you put in. So yeah, I think I'll always have a manual bike, but I think there's some fun to be had with an e-mountain bike in terms of different things you can do when you attack the hill. So instead of just being about the downhill, which that's the best bits of mountain biking, and I don't mind so much the meandering up and down, you know, back and forth, zigzagging to get to the downhill bit. But then if I've got an e-mountain bike, I don't have to worry about the slog getting to the top. I can just keep going up and down and then just enjoy that section again and again. But also I can probably get to places that I probably wouldn't have gone to before. That's my thinking anyway. And I guess there's probably some bad points, isn't there? There's got to be bad points as well as good points. I mean, maybe inadvertently, without even realising it, you'll start riding the e-mountain bike more than your manual bikes, and slowly your fitness just goes. Next thing you know, you're like using your e-bike just to go to the local shops. Anyway, that's enough natter about e-bikes. I'm going to jump back onto the main screen so we can get Zwift in all of its fullness. Riding in the dark, actually. I've got the light on. I bet you didn't realise that my BMX was equipped with night lights. Whew. So I'm still getting power-ups. Let's talk about the power-ups. So we've got the Aero power-up. So that's the helmet. Obviously power-ups are perfect for when you're in a race situation. But it can also be opportunity for a nice breather when you are riding. So the Aero power-up, what this is going to do, this is going to make you aerodynamic for about 15-20 seconds. So when you're doing a sprint, it's all about timing. Fire that off as you're sprinting to that finish line. If you're struggling, you can just fire it off. I've just used the companion app. And it does something in the background. It makes my avatar slightly more aerodynamic. I get the aero boost. Save some watts. Gain this slight advantage. Whew. What do you think of the scenery? So apparently Zwift are about to unleash a whole load of new roads. There are miles and miles and miles of new routes being spread out across the platform throughout September and October. They've moved the Tour of Autopia, or is it Tour de Zwift? I always get confused between Tour of Autopia and Tour de Zwift. I know they're both pretty much the same. Perfect opportunity for everyone to jump on. Oh, my weekly goal's been met. 30 kilometres. Is my weekly goal too low? Pretty much finished that in one ride, couldn't I? Add that to the checklist of things to do. So we do a roll call, freshen up. I am Ken Dizzle, the Black British Cyclist, all the Black Cyclists. I'm 1 and 2. At the same time, I'm all things, but I like to do this on a Monday and Thursday, live at 5 after my summer break. I just jump onto the Zwift, jump on a bike, pick a route to ride. Sometimes it's a workout, sometimes I'm just riding for the zone 2 fun of it, getting some base training in, getting myself fit, shred some of that additional body fat I might have accumulated, but also maybe work on building some strength over the winter. And I think for next year it's time for me to actually stop talking and actually do more races. I've been watching a lot of videos from NorCal Cycling, one of my favourite channels to watch, and I keep saying to him, like, every time I watch your videos it makes me want to do an actual real life race, and I think I have to add that to the bucket list, don't I? But I think before I do that, I think it's time to do more Zwift races. So we will try and keep this autumn winter season building our strength. Let's make sure my FTP of 241 is still at 241. It's not. So let's get it back up to 241 over the autumn winter. So when the spring starts, we can do a few Zwift races. I hope you'll watch me suffer. Maybe do an FTP test as well. It's all about the suffering. If you're here for the suffering, lots of panting. Oh, it's giving me chills just thinking of like doing an FTP test right now. Oh, so FTP is like your functional threshold power. It's kind of like an indicator as to how powerful or how long you can cycle for an hour before you totally fatigued out. No fair of that today. Leisurely ride. I've been swimming every day this week. Got my me band on, clocking my heart rate all the time. But I love it because it's also doing my swim stroke as well. So I'm able to maximise on all of my training. I'm getting a bit obsessed actually, a bit obsessed with the training. I've always been about data, love the data, but now I can really drill down into each lap. Every day that I'm swimming I can see if my heart rate is slightly elevated or lower. Oh, I'm in my element. I'm a data nerd. How about you? Anyone else into their data? I don't think I can do a training session or ride about bike without attaching at least one item to collecting some data. Cadence, power, heart rate, distance, time. Whew. Wouldn't say it was a bad thing. It means you can always look back, see your progress. Whew. His heart right, so a bit of hydration. So let's talk about my plans for the rest of the week. Hello, Mr. Lizard. So it's Thursday, the week is almost over. Been an epic week, so 4 solid days of swimming, my last swim day of the week tomorrow. I spent the week focusing on making sure I'm really relaxed in my swim stroke, and just by trying to be relaxed in my breathing, relaxed in my stroke, focusing on being like streamlined, all the sorts of things I should be doing when I'm on the bike outside, you know, like being aero, conserving energy, you know, things like not talking while you're riding. But I'm streaming, so this is different, this doesn't count. Yeah, so focusing on my swim, and all those, just by making those tiny little adjustments, I found that my entire swim, I do a mile each morning, I'm finishing with more energy, and my time's increasing as well. And I wouldn't even say I'm actually using more effort, I'm just maximising, I'm tightening, honing those little things. Now what I need to do is take that I'm doing in the pool and translate it onto the bike. I should be maximising those same things on the bike, thinking about my pedal stroke, thinking about being aero, thinking about my body position. Getting more sleep, eating well. I think I always eat well anyway. Occasionally I have a bit of a binge, sweets, chocolate, but I don't eat a lot of junk food. Pretty much cook all my food from scratch. Eat a lot of cereals, porridge. It tends to be my morning meal. Well, I say morning, I have it at lunchtime. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to Friday's swim. 38 minutes has probably been my average swim for this week. Maybe I'll go for 37 tomorrow. Try and shave a minute off. Yeah, it's like half a second a lap. And then Saturday and Sunday is when I hit the gym for a full gym session. So it's all good. All good. I'm loving the vibes. You know, when you're just training and you just feel, then you get that buzz. Everything just seems to be in sync. Sleep, diet, workouts. The only thing I need to pick up now is just the cycling. Get these legs working again. So please remember, if you have any questions about cycling training, I'm not an expert, I'm just sharing what I've done throughout my life. Works for me, it might not work for you, but you can always give it a try. If you want to join me, if you're local, West Midlands, North Warwickshire area, you can join me for a in real life bike ride. I make other videos touring around the local communities, exploring, seeing some sights, finding new things, and just stopping and chatting to people, spreading the positive love of cycling. The occasional shorts video. So if you're not following me already or subscribed, hit that subscribe or follow button. Daily inspirational training videos, really just like capturing a log of how I feel and sharing some tips. All good in my hood. Woo. Right. So that's pretty much it. So I'll be back on Monday, live at 5. Catch me here Mondays and Thursdays. Live at 5. Next week, I think we've actually got some Zwift events starting, and I'm also potentially buying the Zwift click button. I've got it in my basket. I was a little bit and ahhing because they want to charge me like £7.50 postage. And I'm like, oh, it's already 50 quid. Surely 50 quid's a minimum for postage, so I'm just being a cheapskate. I should just pay the postage. So anyways, I'm going to get the Zwift click. It comes with the Zwift cog, which I don't need, but as long as I update the software on my Directo Elite, Directo X Elite Directo X trainer, I can connect the cog, but I don't think I'm that bothered about not having the cog. I think I just want the controllers. I think it should be pretty cool to be able to steer. I can hit the BMX track on here where you can steer and hit different obstacles. And also, if I do fit the cog, I can do some virtual shifting. I'm not really that fussed anyway, because I always use my mobile phone, which has the companion app. Maybe they're looking to phase out the companion app. Who knows? But it works for me. But yeah, get myself some new Zwift tech, the Zwift cog, and the Zwift click. So tune in next week. Either on Monday, I might be here with the new Zwift cog. I'm buying it myself. I'm not big enough to get any freebies, although I'm always more than happy to pay for stuff that I would genuinely use myself. And I think anything Zwift I'm probably going to use. So I'm happy to pay my $17.99 a month membership, just not through the summer when I'm not using it. And I'm probably going to get this Zwift click. So I'm Ken Dizzle, the Black Cyclist, talking nonsense, also talking fitness, sharing my knowledge and love of cycling, Zwift, fitness training and tips, and just being positive. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. I'm still here. Games! I just can't stop. Too many games to be had. But I really appreciate everyone who's tuned in on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Ken Dizzle, the Black Cyclist. See you again.